high-profile names have been added to the INX Media probe, but this time of senior bureaucrats who were serving in the finance ministry at the time when P Chidambaram was finance minister. This probe relates to irregularities in clearances given by the FIPB to the INX Media group for getting overseas funds worth over 300 crores. Now, CBI had sought sanction against these 4 officials, including Sindhushri Khullar, former CEO of the NITI Aayog, in January. CBI sources have told NDTV that they have received the sanction against all of the officials in the second week of September. The government had accorded sanction against P Chidambaram on February 19th this year. Let's go over to Arvind, who brings us all the details about this case. He's been following this case very closely. Arvind, what can you tell us? What does this mean? You know, the fact that these senior officials are also now going to be prosecuted, and when can we expect a charge sheet?
Government has granted sanction to prosecute 4 former finance ministry officials, including Sindhushri Khullar, who later became the first NITI Aayog CEO, along with former finance minister P Chidambaram in INX Media case. In fact, the Central Bureau of Investigation in January this year had approached the government seeking sanction against P Chidambaram on all these 4 officials, including Sindhushri Khullar, who was the then additional secretary in Ministry of Finance, also Anup Pujari, who was the secretary MSME, also Rabindra Prasad, who was the under secretary in Ministry of Finance, and also Prabodh Saxena, who was the director in Ministry of Finance. So when the CBI approached the government in January this year, the government had accorded sanction against P Chidambaram alone in February this year, and they withheld the sanction against all these 4 officials. So from what we are hearing from our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation is that now the government has accorded sanction to prosecute all these 4 people also, and CBI received this sanction in the second week of September. It is another very important point to be noted here that all these 4 officials were confronted with former finance minister P Chidambaram when P Chidambaram was in the custody of CBI last month. What we are hearing is that very soon CBI will be naming all these 4 people along with P Chidambaram as an accused in this INX Media case. Very soon, what we are hearing is that in the month of October, we could see CBI filing the charge sheet in this case. Another very important point, it is just these 4 officials who are part of the then finance ministry have been will be prosecuted as accused in this case, but not the FIPB board. In fact, what is the allegation? The Foreign Investment Promotion Board, which gave clearance to INX Media, there were several irregularities in granting that clearances. Right. But what we are hearing from our sources is that only these officials will be prosecuted, not the FIPB members, then FIPB members headed by Subbarao, who later became the RBI governor.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Arvind, for that update. So we will have to wait till November to see that charge sheet, as Arvind reports. These 4 senior officials will be charge sheeted, but the investigation into the members of the FIPB board is not happening at the moment.